Hello, everybody. Welcome in to a Critical Hits preview show for the ECAC Valorant tournament coming up this Monday, August 10th. I'm Frank Salerno, joined by Rob Flaks. Rob, second so far ECAC is hosting in terms of Valorant tournaments. I know you're very excited. I am as well. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect rules-wise this coming week.
Absolutely. So for this Valorant tournament, it's going to be pretty standard rules. It's going to be a best of one elimination series, and we're going to have to tune in at 6 p.m. on August 10th to the ECAC Twitch channel to be able to take a look at those teams competing. One of those teams, UAlbany, we've previously covered on this show before in their ECAC League of Legends title win. So we'll see if they can pull off a Riot special, get 2 final appearances, maybe even 2 wins in Valorant. But Frank, they are not the only team, as you well know. Let's walk us through it. Who are these other guys UAlbany is going to be facing off against?
Yeah, so there's a couple teams that we felt are notable to mention and discuss as we go into the tournament on August 10th. Starting with Team Bootleg, honestly, I think they're my sleeper pick to win. I don't know if it's a sleeper per se, but probably my pick to win, being that they're returning 4 of their 5 players from the June tournament where they went to the semifinals, losing 13-9 to the eventual winner, Stevenson University, who we'll talk about in a second. But they had a great run. Like I said, returning majority of their roster could mean a lot of chemistry coming in and a lot of growth as a team coming into the second tournament. So watch out for Team Bootleg. Another team to look out for is Team RPI, who did make it to the quarterfinals last time, beating UAlbany Esports in that second round matchup 13-4. So it was a dominant performance by RPI. Weren't able to move past quarters, but still a team to keep your eye on in this upcoming tournament. UAlbany themselves looking to rebound. The Great Danes, I love that name. They have a great alternate logo. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Some great games from the Great Danes, right, Frank? That's what we can expect, right?
Wow, that's rough. Anyway, rough, complete pun intended.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Wildcats. They didn't get out of the first round in the last tournament. They're looking to bounce back a little bit this time and get their first match win in ECAC and Valorant play. And the Sacramento State Hornets and Stevenson Mustangs will round out notable competitors in this tournament. And I think they're most notable because they were second and first place, respectively. Sacramento State, though, only returning 2 players, and Stevenson, the former winners, who beat Sacramento State 13-9 in the finals, returning only 1 player, that is Friggy TV. They were dominant up until the finals, and they only lost 2 rounds along the way. So it was a good tournament run for Stevenson Mustangs, rather. And we'll see if they're able to repeat with a lot of competition as we go into ECAC's second Valorant tournament. And looking at Valorant, it could look a little different, Rob.
Right. Absolutely. But before we get into that, I know this is an area where me and you disagree. Your stance on those roster changes coming into the tournament. You for them, you're against them. What are your thoughts on changing up a roster before coming into a tournament like this?
Obviously, with college, it's a little different. Sometimes you have people graduating and such, so rosters just will change naturally. But with a game like this, being that it's so new and things like I got ahead of myself talking about the new agent. There's with so much growth in a game in the early stages like it is right now with Valorant. I feel like a team should try to grow together. That's why I like a team like Team Bootleg, where they're learning the game and growing. As the game develops as a culture and a community, they're growing together. 4 or 5 players returning. That's why I like a team like Bootleg rather than a Stevenson who only has 1 of 5 coming back. So that's just my stance. I know you differ.
Absolutely, Frank. That's a great opinion, but it's completely wrong. And I'm going to tell you why. Exactly what you just said in terms of it being so new is exactly why you can get away with swapping rosters, is because they haven't had time to build those long-term, in terms of synergies, in terms of the teams, being able to figure out what team has what play style. None of that has been developed yet. This is still kind of a preseason sort of just everyone's figuring everything out. And so you have that level of sort of forgiveness because people are not playing just by design. They haven't had that time. They are not at their highest level of play yet. So you can kind of say, you know what, we haven't developed the synergy. We can swap it out. You can find better players at this moment. Again, a little bit of a rivalry developing here between players who migrated from the Overwatch community versus those who came in from the Counter-Strike community. And so a lot of teams are seeing which type of player from which type of game coming in has the most overlap, and it varies per player. Not every team is saying, oh, we're an entire Counter-Strike lineup, we're an entire Overwatch X lineup. So it is a bit of a plug and play, and now is the time to be doing that plugging and that playing just because of its newness and because no one really has that level of comfort built up yet. If this was midway through the season, if this was the postseason, a completely different discussion. But I think the fact that we are so early gives them some levity. But you mentioned that one of those new things is going to be a brand new agent, and so we're going to take a look at them right now. So they are called Killjoy, and just from my experience in terms of playing her a little bit in ranked competitive mode, seeing the streamers react and seeing other players, we have basically what Brimstone should have been, a very strong control agent, and I'm going to explain exactly what she can do. So you're seeing on screen now a couple of her abilities. She has a stealth drone that she can just throw down and leave for basically the duration of the match, and it's very hard to dodge, and again, it's stealth, so they can't see it. So this can be really useful for is on maps like Bind, where there's those teleporters where you can try to sneak the spike to different sites. If you just throw that on the teleporter, you're going to get that notification every time. Very difficult to be able to walk into it without triggering it. So basically you have that for the entire awareness. And then between the drones, her ultimate, and her turrets, which can shoot through smoke critically. So if you can't peek someone, that doesn't mean your turret can't peek that person. And then you're peeking them with the turret, right? You're peeking, they're trying to go back and forth. You don't even need to see them. You just throw the mine in, you detonate it, and it can, as you're watching on screen now, that mine detonates, does some damage, disorients them, and you can get your own damage down on them. So in terms of just taking a long lane, like a long, just finding a site, or just saying, hey guys, I just threw my ulti down, you're not getting on the bomb site for 13 seconds. If you are, you're going to take a bunch of damage. A lot of control coming over from Killjoy, and at the moment, things might change at the last second, but we were on the ECAC website just a few minutes ago, and there's no mention of her being banned or having a lockout in terms of being able to play her. So best case scenario, we could actually see some of that high level play that isn't just, someone pub stomping in normals. We could actually see those players use her to her best potential. And Frank, I think a lot of people are going to be tuning in. If the professional side of Valorant is anything to go by, their tournament this weekend pulled in just over 100,000 viewers. And so just if even a fraction of that could translate to the college scene, I think it'd be huge for viewership. ECAC definitely made the right call being able to pick up Valorant as an esport and getting these teams together. I think this is just one of the most exciting places in esports. And because we love growth, we really like seeing an audience gravitate to a good product. And I think that's exactly what Valorant is. But Frank, I know you think you might be a little bit different in terms of these teams performing. Do you think they're actually going to pull out Killjoy? I mean, she's brand new, right? Do you think they've had the time to practice on her?
I think that people who have played the game will try their hardest at any moment to play the new character. I feel like these players playing at the highest of collegiate level, like they're going to get their reps. It just depends on the comfort, like a lot of these teams were growing. Like we saw throughout the week how some of these teams started with a few players and then more registered along the way. Just the nature of the tournament and of the scene. These teams forming and representing their college, getting different players from different, we talked about different backgrounds, CS and Overwatch and such. It just depends on how they feel, if they're comfortable as a team coming together and playing it. If there's a team, though, that is comfortable enough, maybe like a team like Bootleg, where they had a lot of players already together, if they're comfortable enough pulling it out and working off of it, it could be really deadly. It could lead to a lot of success. If you have a team comp that just works so well together and the chemistry is on point, that could be a very valuable asset to your team that Killjoy being added new and a lot of people still not familiar with how to counter.
So Frank, I mean, it sounds like you're predicting a bootleg victory coming in. Is that accurate? Is that what we're going to see on Monday night?
I mean, there's so many teams that can, have a great tournament. It happens every time. Just for me, I feel like I'm valuing the team with a similar roster. But even like a team like Stevenson, they have a lot of success in esports and ECAC in general. Stevenson, the Mustangs. So I mean, I don't know. It's hard to predict with the scene being so new. But I will say that I do value that team chemistry a lot. Because I know that when I'm on teams, no matter what the game is, if there's not team chemistry, it's so frustrating. And I'm not saying these teams don't have it, but you have players joining at different times. It's different. It's a completely different environment when compared to a team that's been together for a while.
Absolutely. But some of that bonding, some of that team elements, and some of that play can come out in the tournament. And that's what I'm excited to see. I don't know if I have a prediction, but I just want to say if U Albany was able to pull what we are coining, trademark registered, the Riot Special, if that's something that they could pull off, that would be phenomenal. And just for the memes, I guess I'm going to have to say that I think it's going to be U Albany based on my zero experience in watching U Albany Valorant. Not zero, of course, but, you know, I feel like U Albany, yeah, let's go for it. I think we're going with them. But guys, let us know what you think. Reach out to us on Twitter, Rob_Flaks. Frank, what's your Twitter? Let's plug this. Let's get this engagement. Where can people tell us how bad our takes are?
At Frank Salerno _ for me on Twitter. Whether if you're watching this on YouTube, though, make sure to follow EsportU Network on Twitch. It's 24/7 collegiate esports coverage with people like Rob and myself with Critical Hits. We do other content with the Critical Hits brand as well. We do a League of Legends breakdown, Overwatch breakdown, player and coach interviews on there as well. So make sure to follow along with us and the rest of the EsportU Network. Hopefully we'll have some coverage at the end of this tournament, giving you the results, who won, maybe some of the highlights. Maybe we can even talk to a player and tell them, if any players out there, if you're watching this and you want to come on and talk Valorant with us, please, open invitations. Reach out to us on Twitter. We'll have you on any day. Open schedule. We'd love to talk Valorant. It's a brand new game. Lot to learn. Everybody involved, the entire scene, has a lot to learn about Valorant, especially the growth it can have within UCSC and other leagues as well, including the NGCAA and everything underneath the CMG brand, CSMG.
CSMG, no problem, Frank. The point is, we got a lot of exciting content. We can't wait to share it with you, and we hope that you will be watching alongside with us, especially this tournament. Once again, 6 p.m. on Monday night, August 10th. We hope to see you there. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Critical Hits. I'm Rob Flaks.
I'm Frank Salerno. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time.
See you guys.